Okay, hello friends. Bully here from Gameaholics Anonymous. Going to be doing a quick patch 4.12 notes rundown. Now, the reason I decided to do this is due to the fact that it's mainly pertaining to ADs, and since I'm an AD main, I figured I'd give my insight into this. This is just a little thing, a little status behind what they're doing. Jungle timers are being implemented kind of like what Curse Voice had, if you use that. But instead, you'll have to click Tab in order to view the timers, and they'll be up at the top of your page up here. And they're basically helpful. I don't see it as a huge thing. Ari's getting a small buff. Mana cost is getting lower on her Q, and the AP ratio is getting upped on her Q on the way there and on the way back. So yeah, you can see right here on the way and on the way back is the same, but now they buffed it up, so it's 0.7 total if you hit them twice. So that's a small buff, but the mana is pretty nice, so might see her play this more. Alistair. Now this guy's probably one of my favorite supports. They're buffing his mana costs and his tankiness, so they did not want Jungle Alistair coming back because that was very, very annoying. But so he no longer deals double damage to monsters, which is nice. The stun landing thing right here isn't really anything major. You're not going to see any differences in game when you actually perform it. The mana cost is going down a pretty nice amount. Same with W. Having this extra damage reduction early is pretty nice because you are pretty squishy, and you really just have to go in on this champion. So I think it's a pretty nice change. They finally fixed the Caitlyn bug, where her auto attacks would do damage at random times despite where the projectile was. Yeah, and this little line right here, and the Yasuos around the world rejoiced. When this bug would happen, like, your CS would be terrible. It was almost impossible to CS. But it would actually go through Yasuo's wind wall, which is pretty funny. But, yeah. Ezreal can now W himself. Yeah, you just E into it like it says. That's pretty much all there is to it. People may not think that this is a very big change, and it's not. But at the same time, like, if you're all-inning someone, you Q W then E forward, and that way you hit your W. So you actually will be able to use this more than you might think, but yeah. Garen can now cast Tiamat, Ravenous Hydra while spinning, which is a funny looking animation, but it's pretty cool. More nerfs to Cassin, which I think is needed, but who knows if this is the right direction. Cooldown and Nether Blade's higher. The slow duration is shorter on Force Pulse, but the percentage is up pretty good. He pretty much stuns people at the 90%, but we shall see how that works. Kha'Zix is getting a minor buff to his Q, which is nice. He needs some love. And these Lucian changes are interesting. They nerfed his attack range by 50. They upped his movement speed, upped his base health, and they upped his attack damage. Now, these three pretty much have to happen after you nerf someone's attack range for them to even still be looked at. Because if they didn't do these changes and they just nerfed his attack range, people are like, ugh. But, yeah. Let's see here, just to fix the bug on his passive. Does 100 damage to minions down from 75, save a little bit more wave clear. Cast range got shortened to go along with the auto attack range, but the mana got decreased, which is nice because not a lot of people build Trinity Force on him anymore, so this is kind of helpful. Alright, so the E, I'm going to do like a TLDR. It doesn't cost any mana anymore. Basically, after you E and you get your passive shots, specifically on a champion, the cooldown goes down. Yeah, so your cooldown is reduced by 1 second per passive hit, but it's doubled against champions. So if you're all-inning a champion, like if you use your E, then your two spells Q and W, and you can pretty much have your E up again right after you use that round of spells. So it's really nice. I've had some time to play him on the PBE a little bit. Can't really tell how it is like equal skill matchups and stuff like that, but like despite that range nerf, he still can. Like if you have like an aggressive support who can all in with you, he's pretty strong. And with his passive, I think he can get a pretty good snowball going if he can get ahead. But with a range nerf like this, he's going to have some pretty weak matchups. I think Jinx and Kate will be able to do really well versus him. And maybe even Cog, I'm not sure. Because Cog's slow field only, like, he can't E out of the slow field really if you place it correctly, because he'll just get slowed again right away. See here, fix a bug Renaults because enemies can see his countdown indicator. So yeah, it's just a bug fix really. E now always causes Valor to immediately mark the target. So it's just a small little buff, bug fix, whatever you want to call it. Quinn's E. Rengar. So whenever he upgrades his Bone Tooth Necklace, which I believe is whenever he gets the stacks or whatever, he'll now appropriately say a line. His Q is fixed because it was triggering on hit effects twice, which not really sure how someone would find that out unless they had a funny little build path. But now split sets of Vel'Koz died, so it's just, I guess, a slight buff. So whenever he fires his Q, like even if he dies, it'll split. Fix a bug where Sweeping Blade sometimes didn't count as a spell cast for various items and champion abilities. So basically, just people like cast it and stuff like that, where when he would E, it wouldn't count towards his Force Pulse and things like that. Fix a bug for Satchel Charge wasn't properly reducing Short Fuse's cooldown. It's either worded weird or I don't know Zig's passive well enough, but pretty sure it's a buff in the form of a bug fix. Alright, getting into items here. Bloodthirster. Let's see. Lifesteal's up 5%, but the lifesteal passive is now unique. So you're not going to be seeing any double lifesteal builds. The shield's getting nerfed by 90 at max rank. Time before shield decay is 25. So these changes are pretty good. I'm guessing this is making Bloodthirster a better option for like sustained team fights, like because you're not as safe, but you have more sustained healing than Blade now. So more sustained team fights, and I guess versus non-health stackers and stuff like that, Bloodthirster might be a better option now. Essence Reaver builds out of a BF and Vamp Sword now. So it'll be in line with the 80 attack damage items. So this might be interesting. Now on some champions, we'll have to see where Jace and Blue Build Ezreal stand now that they have that little 80 buff. Also, the way Lucian's new kit works, like cooldown is pretty darn good on him. So we'll see if we might be able to fit this in with a Ghost Blade or something on him. It should be like a dashing reset machine. But who knows? This item is getting a little bit of love. It's getting 10 AP increase. I personally don't think it's that bad of an item. Like 25% attack speed is pretty gold efficient, especially with no internal cooldown. The item itself may not be gold efficient, but the stats it gives are kind of worth it in some situations. Because 25% attack speed is Berserker Greaves for an AD, so like extra 1,000 gold on your AD could be worth it in some situations. Manamune is building out of Tier and Pickaxe now, so it's easier to pick up the pieces and still have some AD. So building this item doesn't put you so far behind without having to spam and get your mana up. So it looks like slightly more expensive, 5 more AD, it's fine. Sunfire Cape, the visuals are now more fiery and aggressive. So I'm guessing, oh yeah, I've seen it actually. It's going to be much more prominent looking, which is extremely nice because I had trouble noticing it a lot. Summoner spells, Exhaust, which have been updated and improved readability. That's good. I'm pretty sure it's just kind of like the old one and the new one mixed. I don't think it looks very good, if that's what it is. That's what I've seen at least. So I don't think I'm going to go over these changes because I don't really play anything other than ranked or on the normal summoner rift. Intro bots are coming in. Supposedly this is a nice little design increase, or design change rather, for newer players. I haven't had a chance to test the map before I'm here. It's pretty decent. New audio engine, so basically they're improving stuff with the audio in the game. Made improvements to stereo imaging and panning, so that's just sound when you're moving across and like where all the sounds are held. Proper support for surround sound. That's really nice because I'm actually using a virtual surround sound headset right now, so it'll be easier to hear where stuff's coming from. I base a lot of my stuff off sound. Like the way I play, it's because I used to be a first-person shooter. So we'll see how that works out. Made subtle improvements to audio clarity, which is always nice. And there's some bug fixes here. Small delays in opening item shops. Graphical bug with the start of the game tips. I believe they were actually supposed to add in the jungle timer's last patch, but they messed up. And then, like at the start of the game, the little tips at the top, you could actually see, like where the new jungle timer things are. It's pretty funny. So they fixed the bug. Occasionally applied duo key restrictions to queues other than ranked solo duo. So basically, you can do rank 5s with your friends now. Not have to worry about that. Players who have negative LP from dodging ranked games can no longer likely to reset their LP to 0 with a single ranked win. So basically, if you were like negative 40 LP or something like that from just dodging, it doesn't affect your MMR. So you could just like win a game and like be right back up. Fix a bug that occasionally causes players with low LP to be demoted when losing a ranked match that would drop them to 0 LP. So it's just a little bug. It's actually a nice fix right there. Fix an issue with ranked teams sometimes not being promoted after winning a promo series. That's interesting. Fix an issue with players sometimes being unable to join a ranked team after leaving another. And then they have upcoming skins here, Mecha Aatrox and Mecha Malphite. I've had time to play with these skins. They're pretty decent. They're actually not as good as I was hoping. But maybe that's just because I'm not a fan of the color blue. But they're both very, very blue. But maybe we'll see Headhunter Caitlyn here somewhere. Not sure. But that's pretty much it for the notes. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment below the video or in the comment section on the website where this is also posted. Links to the website, etc. will be in the description and my stream as well. And hope you guys enjoyed the video.